All right. Good morning, guys. Today is February 4th, and we'll just go over what setups we've had over the last 24 hours and also see if we have any setups that we can take today during the live session. So looking up here, so on the 15 minutes and 30-minute time frame, so of course I don't trade this, but even then I don't see any entries for US 30. For gold, let's do this. Um, for gold, nothing as well. So gold is super, super bullish. On the 1 hour time frame, nothing for US 30. Nothing for US 30 for gold. There was an entry for gold here. However, um, there was an entry for gold. Give me 1 second. There was an entry for gold. However, this right here, and we'll just do a recap of it. This was like a C plus setup. So this goes back to what I was mentioning to you guys last week, where you can have C plus setups that are winning. So if we go ahead and replay this entry here and look at what the red flags were, you can see here, and if I pull up the confluences, which are, let's see, pull up the confluences for the rejection entry or the levels entry. So the first confluence is rejection or break of an SAR level. So here we had this SAR level that was created at 2811, so 2,811 price point for gold. So that's confluence number one, right? So we've already had a level that's been created. We've had the first candle to interact with that level. It rejected above it and rejected and closed above it. So here you'd be looking for a buy. Confluence number two, if buying, make sure you're in a green zone. If selling, make sure you are in a red zone. So this is where you turn on your indicators or the zones indicator. So for this particular one, what time did this come in again? This came in at 1 a.m. in the morning. So this was in is it 1 a.m.? Yeah, 1 a.m. in the morning. So we are in a demand zone. However, this level itself, you want that rejection zone to be literally inside either a red zone or a green zone. So this one was a little bit below the green zone. So it's not really satisfying confluence number two. Confluence number three, if buying, make sure there are no bearish order blocks. If selling, make sure there are no bullish order blocks. So here, we did not have any order blocks around this zone. So in this instance, you'd have set a pending order. So again, this is like a C plus setup. It's not the ideal setup, especially due to the entry level was a little bit to the below that demand zone. So this was a pretty risky trade, and it came up like at 2 a.m. or 1 a.m. So unless you trade Asia session, you probably would have missed it. But anyway, so you go ahead and set your pending order, stop loss below the previous zone. So either you can put it below this hourly bearish high. So this one I'd marked it up with like a $15 stop loss and $15 TP. And then this trade would have hit full TP. However, for me, I wouldn't have taken that trade ideally because the demand zone, the entry was literally under the demand zone. But anyway, so this was a nice trade that happened this morning for gold. But currently, based off of, so gold is still pushing currently where gold is at. Maybe the nearest area of rejection might be 2850, so maybe around this area. And 2850 is a psychological level, so they'll probably push it past 2850 to 2870. So gold can easily push up to 2870 today. But anyway, gold is creating all-time highs. So I don't even see before getting an entry for gold for this week, probably I don't see any entry for gold so far. So nothing on the hourly time frame. On the 4 hour time frame for US 30, nothing on the 4 hour. For gold, nothing on the 4 hour as well. Here for the 4 hour time frame, let me see if we can get an example because I do see a break and continuation entry here on the 4 hour, because here on the 4 hour time frame we had this 4 hour SAR level. And then if we turn on the zones, you can see it's a red zone. So this is why I mentioned, like, for the break and continuation entries, you will rarely find them because most of the times the break and continuation entries will not satisfy confluence number 2. So if we go back to the confluences for the break and because if you're doing a break, it means you're breaking structure, right? So if you're breaking resistance, you'll be fighting with sellers. If you're breaking support, you'll be fighting with buyers. So most of the times, for the break and continuation entry, and unless maybe I try and refine it in future, it will rarely satisfy confluence number 2. It will satisfy confluence number 1, which is rejection or break of an SAR level, which is what happened here, and it will probably satisfy confluence number 3 regarding the order blocks. But confluence number 2, it will rarely, or yeah, it will occasionally satisfy that. And I let you guys know that most of the times that it will satisfy this, it's between it's between Asia session to the beginning of London session, because that's the period where there'll be low levels of liquidity. Let's see. 15-minute, there's a potential buy. No, we are in a red zone. So never mind. I was looking at another chart. Yeah, so here for this particular one, unless you have any other confluences for a continuation, it will rarely satisfy this. But I'll see if I can refine the break and continuation entry. But for me, the rejection entry is so much more profitable, so I'm not really looking to change that as much. But let's assume price was coming from the downside for this trade and then this level was green. Ideally, you do the same thing we do for the rejection entry. You just do a pending order, and then you round up to the stop loss and TP that you're given by TradingView. So this one would have been like a $20 TP and stop loss or something like that. And it would have hit. But anyway, so this, again, this one would not have been a trade I would have taken. I would have only taken this trade if this zone that it was breaking would be a green zone. And the only way for that to have happened would be price would be coming from the downside as opposed to going to the upside. So nothing on the 4 hour as well for gold. For the daily time frame, I didn't see anything else on the daily time frame. So here on the daily time frame, there's nothing. Again, gold is super bullish, so there's nothing there to look at. So right now, even on the 15-minute and 30-minute time frames, I do not see anything. So I will move along to this other chart to see if maybe we can get a trend line and SAR entry. So even for today, what is this? Even for today, so it should be this. Even for today, I don't think, again, this live session will not be a long one. So here's so for the trendline and SAR rejection entry, I thought we were going to get a buy here for US 30 because we had a rejection and closure above. So rejection of support line, closure above this SAR. So that's a rejection support. However, if you turn on the the zones indicator, you can see we're in supply for US 30. But if we were not in supply, this is the buy I would have taken. I would have waited for price to come back to that zone, round up the number or the stop loss and TP. So this would have given like a 50 point. So that's ideally what I would look to take. But again, for me, so the same three confluences that I'm using for the hourly rejection entries is the same confluences that I would be using here. So anyway, currently right now, no buys for US 30 as much as, so we are in an uptrend, but I don't see any particular entry right here for US 30, ideally because we are in a supply zone for US 30. The other one for sales for US 30, as much as we're in a supply zone, I don't see any, unless we get a rejection of the resistance line, yeah, which I don't even see happening because when I'm looking for so here, if we were to get a rejection of this resistance line, and this candle to close here, I would not be looking to take a sell because here the intersection between the resistance line and the SAR is ideally finished, right? So you want when you're waiting for the retest of the SAR level, it would be something like this. So let's say we had a rejection somewhere where we have this big green candle, right? And then the trend line stayed the same the way it is right now. So you ask yourself, is there sufficient distance between the candle that gave you the rejection entry all the way to the area where there's that intersection between the SAR? Because you want to enter on the rejection or on the retest of the SAR. So if you're already at the end where the trend line and SAR lines meet, then you don't have any opportunity to get an SAR retest because by the time the SAR is being retested, it will ideally be getting retested outside of the trend line. So you want the SAR to get retested when, if it's for a sell, you want the SAR to be below the trend line. So again, here, as much as I would be looking for sales on US 30 right now, I do not see any entry for that. Gold, given how gold has pushed up, and these are new all-time highs, and we're almost at that 2850 level. Given that we are almost at all-time highs, we are probably not going to get any buy SARs. We're probably not going to get any sell SARs. So already you can see this whole distance here. We don't have any green SARs. So nothing for gold. Same thing for sells. No sells on gold unless now we start having a downtrend so that now gold can start creating can start creating like down what is it called, can start creating a downtrend. For BTC, this is a trade I had yesterday. So if you recall, I did mention that last year I did modify or make improvements to the trend line and SAR trend line rejection indicator. So one thing I did for this indicator is I'm interested in this all, let me show you. Let me write this down. I'm interested in this levels right here. I'm interested in levels of interests. So the first one is rejection, support. And again, I'm making a PDF of all of this. So I've already started making a PDF of all the entries. So hopefully it should be done maybe within a month or so. So this is rejection support. And this would be rejection of a support line. And then the other one I'm interested in is rejection resistance or RS. This is rejection of a resistance line. And then we have prime break of support, or PBS. And this is break of a support level after an RS, after an RR signal. And then you have prime break of resistance, or PBR. And this is break of a resistance line or resistance level after an RS signal. Now, for this entries, if I was a London or Asia session trader, this is pretty much the strategy that I would be looking to take. The good thing about this strategy is that it it it's ideally a reversal pattern, and most of the reversal patterns, they start towards during Asia session, or right before London. So here for BTC, so if you guys remember, BTC over the weekend fell from what price was this? 105K, or from Friday, 105K to 91,000, right? So yesterday in the morning hours, I saw a pattern here. So you can see where BTC fell to, and maybe this is easier to see on the daily time frame, where BTC, on this chart all the way to my right, where BTC fell to on Sunday, Sunday through Monday, it fell all the way to this daily bullish order block, right? So if I turn on the zones here, you'll see this zone right here. So it fell exactly to the price point of this low of the daily bullish order block, which was 91,230 $230. Now, when I came in and saw that on the 15-minute time frame, you see how that price point, 91,225, 230 area. So what this is telling you, and you see the wick that came up from that area, and then you see price consolidating above that daily bullish, between the daily bullish high order block and the daily bullish low order block, right? So price came all the way back down, wicked at the very top, started consolidating and resting above that daily bullish high order block. So this is one of those setups that rarely come up, but when they do, it's like an A plus plus setup. So here, how you would trade this particular one, since you're looking for a buy, the best case scenario is you find where price is going to close above this resistance level. So either this resistance line, or ideally above this resistance level. So that is where you need the prime break of resistance. Because remember, what is the prime break of the resistance? The prime break of resistance is break of a resistance level after a rejection support signal. So we've had all this rejection support. This price is in an uptrend, and you have three back-to-back rejection support signals showing that price is an uptrend. We already know that price came to this daily order block. And remember, daily order blocks are very rare to come by. They come by maybe once a month, or maybe even once every 2 months, daily, monthly, and weekly. So you want to pay attention to those. So here, you just wait for a prime break of resistance, which would mean price is going to break out of this consolidation that's right here. So price is going to break above the resistance line. And that is exactly what this candle gave. It gave the break of this resistance line. So again, this was another nice trade from yesterday. You do your entry there, you do your stop loss all the way below this daily bullish order block, because if they break that daily bullish order block, then at that point it just means that the price is moving up to being super bullish. So again, this one would have given you like I think this is like a $4,000 stop loss. So you go ahead and round to the nearest whole number, or to the nearest psychological number. So this, you'd have had a $5,000 TP and stop loss. And based off of how BTC was moving yesterday, that's not even a big TP and stop loss. So eventually price ended up being bullish, and this would have hit TP. So those PBS, prime break of resistance and prime break of support entries, most of the times the best ones to enter are those ones that come up during Asia session and a little bit before London session. So currently, right now, based off of where price is at, I don't see any entry for a buy because we've already closed above the resistance trend line. So maybe, and also we are in a 4-hour bullish order block. You can see the high of the order block and the low of it. So even for a sell, if I got a sell here for Bitcoin, I wouldn't take it because we are in this bullish order block. So it wouldn't satisfy confluence number 3. But even then, I don't see any sell for BTC because the resistance line is holding. So probably what's going to happen here, if this resistance line holds, we've already had a break of the resistance line, and then you probably have a retest picking up liquidity from this 4-hour bullish order block, and then BTC will probably keep riding up. But anyway, for me, all I wait for is my confluences to align, and then that's it. And also at the top here, let me turn off this SAR levels for now. At the top here, if we go over the prime, so we went over the prime break of resistance. So here I can already see a prime break of support entry. So if we go ahead and replay this, and here's one thing I wanted to check here. If I wanted to see what zones we have here. See what zones we had at this PBR. All right, so you can see for this PBR, we still had some red zones here. So even for this PBR, remember it's a reversal pattern. So most of the times, just as with the break and continuation entry, some of these entries you'll find that when the buy signal comes in, it will come in sometimes during in an area of resistance, and sometimes when you get a sell signal, it will come in an area of in an area of demand. So remember, if it's a prime break of support, you are ideally looking to give me. So we have an entry for BTC on. Give me 1 second here. We have a prime break of resistance for BTC on the 30-minute time frame. We have rejection support. We have BTC rejection support on the hourly time frame. Just a moment. Okay, so we have a bunch of entries on BTC. So here for BTC, let me see. All right, so we are not in a green zone. So this right here would be a buy for BTC. Only thing for this one, so remember, we're not in a green zone, so this would be a C plus setup right here. So we have 3 buy entries for BTC. I just saw we have 2 right here on the 30-minute. So this would be like a $3,000 TP and stop loss. We have this one, and then we have the hourly. So this one, again, I wouldn't take it. For me, I need all 3 confluences to align. So this one would be a C plus setup. So it's ideally what we went over. So if you remember when I was going over this one right here on the 15-minute time frame, it's literally that we have a prime break of resistance. Only thing is that if you're buying, since we are buying here, we don't have any green zone. Let me look at the hourly. We have an hourly rejection support here. If we're in a green zone, so same thing here for, yeah, so nothing on the hourly here as well. Yeah, so here for BTC, if anybody has any confluences for a buy, the only thing it doesn't match up with me is that I would want this to be a green zone. However, since this is a reversal pattern, you will rarely get this. So this to me, it's not a trade I would be willing to take right now. And then there's the one I wanted to go over with you guys is this one right here that I saw at the top. So if I go to this prime break of support here, actually it was in, yeah, it was this one. So if I go ahead and do a replay of this and we see whether this prime break of support had a, was in a red zone. So if we turn on the zones indicator here, uh, wait. Give me 1 second. Mm, mm, mm. Um, oh, okay. Yeah. So let's go to here. All right, so this prime break of support. So again, let's see what time this came up at. So you see this came in yesterday at Asia session. So the beginning of Asia session, it came up at 6 p.m. Eastern time, this prime break of support. So this prime break of support is better than, is better. It's not the best because again, we are not exactly in the red zone, but it's better than having a green zone where it's going, where that candle is validating at. So it's better because it's already below this whole area of supply up here. So again, now this one, if this is the candle we had in that signal that just went up right now for BTC for the prime break of resistance, now this one I would have taken it because the next level of demand, guess where the next level of demand is here? It's all the way down here. So for this one again, this one would have given you like $1,000 TP and stop loss. So you round up to the nearest whole number. So maybe do 1,500 TP and stop loss, or maybe do a $2,000 TP and stop loss. And this one would have gone straight to TP for that one. So you see where it's going to. So this is why I'm always cautious about if I'm buying in a green zone or if I'm buying in a red zone, because for this one, I know that I'm safe. The probabilities that I'm safe on this trade are high because my my stop loss is way above this level of supply and I don't have any green zone here. So if we had a green zone here, this would have been a risky trade because BTC was, so if we did have a green zone here, after that prime break of support came in, this would have been a risky one because this would have been a risky one because A, we do have this hourly bullish low here. However, the reason I would have taken this trade is because we have this hourly bearish low here. So ideally it cancels out this hourly bullish low. So these two order blocks would ideally have canceled each other out. But the reason, if I had a green zone here, and then of course that prime break of support happened there, I would not have taken this sell because I know that buyers can use this level of demand and use this hourly bullish low indicator, hourly bullish low order block to push price up, and then probably I would have gotten stopped out. But if I do not have, since we didn't have this green zone here, then it's showing me price just came up here. It tapped into, we have an hourly bearish order block at the top there. So for me, I'm like, okay, hourly bearish order block plus this level of supply there, and we do not have any level of demand between the entry and the stop loss. So this one, yes, I would have taken it. And as long as much as we have this hourly bullish low order block here. So remember, if you have two order blocks of the same time frame and they ideally at the same area, ideally they cancel out. And for this prime breaks, any strategy that I mentioned has a prime. So this one is prime break of support, or the other one that has the break and continuation of the SAR, which is 1 hour time frame and above. Those strategies, just know that confluences number two, especially confluences number two, confluence number two may not align exactly as it would when you're doing the rejection entry, or also confluence number three may not align. So with any strategy that involves a break of structure, just know that most of the time, since you're breaking structure, you're going to most likely get a zone that's opposite the direction you're trading. So you need to look at what's around your price point and then just make sure your stop loss, you have a wide enough stop loss. And again, so these trades, for me, they come up during Asia session all the way to the beginning of London. I don't trade those sessions, so most of the times I'll probably miss those entries unless I'm awake for some reason. So let's see if we get anything else during this live session. But if we do not, then that will be it for today. But if I do get anything, I will send it to the Discord. But this is why I like this strategies because like so far I've only taken since last week I've only taken two, I think I forget how many trades I took, like three trades, and all of the trades have been winners. So this strategies they give you fewer trades to take, especially if you do it like me when you're applying it to the higher time frames. But your hit rate is going to be good. But so currently right now I do not see anything. I was really hoping to do something for US 30, but I do not see anything. So gold, as I mentioned, this, when the stream was starting, probably going to go to 2450, but of course they know that 2450 is a psychological level. So what's going to happen here for gold, most likely, if it gets to 2450, it's not going to reverse there. There's probably a lot of liquidity sitting here. We'll probably go to 2870 before any major retracement. So I don't see anything specific for gold. But what I'm looking for gold, and I think Friday is NFP, what I'm looking for gold is something on the, oh, I'm sorry, this is the other, uh, let me see. I'll go back to the other chart. What I'm looking for gold is either an entry on the hourly or on the 4 hour time frame. I'm just checking to see if there was anything before I move over to the other chart. There's nothing here. That's BTC. All right. I will share the other screen that has the rejection entries and then just go over what I would be looking for gold. I think it's this one, maybe. All right. So for gold here, mostly I'm looking at, of course, the 1 hour time frame or 4 hour time frame for any entries. So if we do get a rejection level here set, and I'm assuming this SAR rejection level will come up between 2850 and 2870. So that's where I would be looking to take a sell. Only thing is, since we are in all-time highs here for gold, if we do get, say, an SAR rejection level here at 2854, by the time price is getting here, it will be exactly like what's happening right now, right? Since price hasn't been in this location or in this area in the past, the supply zone will just be creeping up. So remember, when I'm looking at this supply and demand zones, I'm only interested in the zones that are going all the way to the right. This one that's coming or that's building itself up by each candle, this can easily be taken out by any buyers. So this would be like a less permanent one. So I'm only looking for this area. So that's the only issue, especially when we start getting to all-time highs, is that as much as we can get a rejection level forming in at any area right now, this supply, we won't have a left to right supply zone. We'll have a supply zone that's just at the current candle and building up. So that's the only downside. But until I get a SAR rejection level, then all I'm going to do is just wait and watch every hour. Same thing on the 4 hour time frame. We haven't even created anything. So I think that's going to be it. And I did mention all these live sessions will be pretty short unless we get, most of the times we probably won't get all this. We won't be getting this rejection entries on the time on the live session unless we start trading the 15-minute and 30-minute. But I'm not willing to start changing something when what I have right now is still working. So that is actually ideally where I'm creating a PDF for all these entries, and I'll be going in that PDF. I'll just be expounding more on what you're looking for so that you guys can use it to trade, whether you want to trade Asia session or London or New York. You can just do it by yourself. Most of the trades we'll get on the live session is like what I was looking at for US 30, a rejection rejection and SAR entry, that's probably most of the trades we'll be getting on the live session. But other than that, since I'm doing 1 hour, 4 hour, and daily timeframes for the rejection entries, we probably won't get a lot of those on the live session. So let me know if you guys have any questions. If you do not, you can always DM me in the Discord. The PDF, that PDF that I'm working on, it should be ready maybe in, I'll just give myself a month because I just want it to be as detailed as possible. But yeah, so here, so this were the trades from, if you guys remember from the last live session. So this was we had like two nice trades. The last live session we had, I think this was Thursday, because on Friday my computer broke, so that's why we didn't have a live session. But yeah, on Friday, on Thursday, we had this big win on US 30. This came up literally before the live session, and then there was this gold entry, right? So this trend line and SAR rejection entries. So that's exactly what I was looking at for US 30 when we had that signal. But when I opened US 30, we were in a supply zone. So these are the entries. We will probably be getting a lot of them during the live session, but unfortunately for today, we would have gotten the US 31, but it was literally the trend line and SAR rejection, similar to this one, but um, price was in a supply zone, so that did not get into confluence number number two. Yeah, so that one was a nice one. So literally, these are the only trades I have taken the beginning of this year. Actually, yeah, it's two trades. So I took this on two of my accounts. So one of them was US 30. I took for 2K, and then the other one I did 1K. For the gold one, I think we missed it because I was switching charts. But yeah, so for these strategies, it's just like being patient. So for anybody who struggles a lot with patience and over trading and FOMO, like this to me would be the best setups to take, especially this one that comes up every other hour or during the hourly time frame. Those ones would be the ones to take. But other than that, unless there's any question, that will be it for the live session, and I will see you guys tomorrow. All right, guys. See ya.